All right, everybody, we are live and recording. Well, not live. We're not live out anywhere aside from the Discord. But, anyone watching back
Oh, so we're not on Twitch.
Nah. We're not going to run it out to Twitch. I'm too lazy to put it on my channel. I have too much of a reputation of being a bad streamer to uphold. Anyways, though. Yeah, thank you. I'm here all week, or at least until the match is over. We've got one of the tower matches here for UPL, the UPL Challenge Series, as I'm calling it, because that's not an official name. But we've got Skler and ZiggyStardust, pretty high up on the tower. Ziggy's at number 5, Skler's at number 8. So if Skler wins, he's going to swap positions with Ziggy, go up to number 5, be able to challenge our number 1. I think that's still Quail.
It's Mana.
Mana took out Quail. All right. Mana really looking to get that promoted to banned position. Anyways, so standard tower matches are best of 3s, but there's been rumors about a potential best of 7. So we could have a lot of StarCraft going on tonight, or it could be dog shit, one of the two. Or we could have a lot of dog shit. That would also work.
All cheese, run it through.
I just hope you're not lactose intolerant.
We have everyone here.
We've got the Ziggy, we've got Skler, but Ziggy had to go away for a second. Probably had to like walk his dog or something. I don't know if he's got a dog. You know, I went to a zoo last weekend, and at the zoo, they only had one animal. It was a dog.
You know, when I was a kid, my dad, he brought me to a zoo, and they said, we don't want him back. I get no respect, I tell you. No respect.
Finishing my joke, because Anderson's so rude, the only animal they had there was a dog. It was a Shih Tzu. No respect.
Where is it? There you go.
Now you see, if Ziggy doesn't get back soon, we're gonna have to have a bunch more like this. It's gonna be just a round table of bad jokes.
Oh, so are they doing a best of 7?
I don't know. Skler seems to think so, so who am I to say they're not?
I guess, is there any... there's nothing in the rules thing that it's just best of 3.
I mean, yeah, IJ versus Anderson was a best of 3, 5, 7, screw it, let's go to 11.
Actually, there's not a lot of rules. Period. You just challenge someone.
Yeah. The whole point is just to give us content, you know? That's the entire point of it. It gets everyone together, it builds community, and it makes me yap about shit that I kind of care about.
So what happens if you get 8 players in a free-for-all?
That's a very good question. I think winner takes all of their ranks.
Like, I'll challenge Anderson, but then we'll do formats as free-for-all with 6 other players.
Alright. So we have this show on the road. We're starting off with Neo Sylphid, the map that I personally hate, but it is pretty good for Zerg. Just a matter of you have to know how to play it, and I think I'm lacking in that department.
Why do you hate it?
Personally, just the terrain, the, like, difficulty in keeping a third base that's actually going to stay there, because the third base is 2/3 minerals and gas. So it's really easy to mine out your third, and it's hard to take bases beyond that.
You mean for the first one there?
Yeah. Like the base right here in the center. And if you try and go out, you have, like, this is a mineral-only base, so really the ideal third is up here, which is kind of easy to defend, but it's also pretty distant, so it makes reinforcing that defense hard if there's a concerted attack, and that's the only high ground on the map as well.
Yeah, those 3 bases. I guess it depends on like what kind of style you want to play, because if you're going to be more aggressive, you want to have that half-raise base, because if you're doing something like Hydra busts, you want to reinforce as fast as you can to your point.
Right.
But otherwise, if you're sitting back, it's like, why not take that raised up base? You got the ramp to help defend it too.
Now, the big thing about this map, though, and what I'm wondering if we're going to see Ziggy do... Okay, so, not Ziggy, I'm sorry, Skler. Skler is going for a pool first build. Because the naturals on this map, you can't get behind them, you can't drop cannons there and defend them with the minerals. So it's actually a pretty safe map for a Zerg to do a hatch first build. But not choosing to do that in this case. The other thing that's really notable is because these minerals are so close to the water or the unbuildable and unpathable terrain, this is a very, very, very good map for Mutalisks for a Zerg player.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing that, like, a lot of players talk about and think about when it comes to Neo Sylphid is just like, oh my god, I hate mutas on this map so much.
I think Ziggy's going to be kicking himself for this one. But he ends up getting the full scout anyway. His first scout when he was cutting to, I think he was trying to spot the Overlord. And he detoured to the top because he didn't see it. If he would have went a little further, he would have
spotted it
saw
there.
the Overlord coming from here, yeah.
I like the little bit of harass that Ziggy's doing here, just trying to make it more annoying on this drone. He's not going to get it, though, and he's going to have to run away from the Lings. But he's also buying a lot of time here because he did go for the Nexus before a cannon, which his timings are really solid anyways. And he's got 1 cannon coming up behind. Should have time, or not going to have time to get the gateway finished, but 4 Lings isn't going to be enough to make a major threat through a cannon. You try and run by, you lose 3 of them, and if you try and attack it, you lose all of them.
It's good to note that that's not a Ling tight wall. You can fit Lings on the right side of that gateway.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have a gap there and then a gap 2 on the left.
This is a very difficult map to wall, but it doesn't look like Skler is going to opt into doing any kind of Ling pressure here. Gas coming down pretty much on time, taking the 3rd base up in that defensible position that we talked about before, but that is going to be immediately scouted by Ziggy. And also staying out of vision, so Skler is not aware that Ziggy's aware of this. It's kind of a I know that you know thing, but in this case, that probe's approach angle might give it away, but that is a really high-level cognitive element. Big thing here is this rescout's very important because he's seeing the layer come up. Layer coming out pretty much similar time to the Cybernetics core. So if we were to be going for Spire into Scourge, that would be coming out roughly the same time as the Stargate finishes up and gets the Corsairs on the map. We are going for Stargate, so no Sairless, no, like, fast Zealot legs. Skler this time giving away that he's seen the extra base, but that's okay at this point. Couple of extra Lings here from Skler. Nice scout here. Skler going to see the Stargate coming down here and be able to run away before that becomes a problem. You can still hunt with the Corsair, but the choice then is, do you kill the Overlord or do you get a decent scout in? Two Zealots to plug up the wall. This is enough Lings to be able to run through that little gap on the right that we talked about and be able to take down the cannon, but probably not with the 2 Zealots sitting there as well. And yeah, Skler's is going to stay back here, try and look for when the move out occurs instead of trying to be aggressive. I think that'd be a real fool's errand unless you had speed. If you had speed, you could definitely go through and actually try and put some pressure onto the probes.
Ooh, opting to take the first Overlord.
Now, Skler is almost on supply block as it is, but if he's got 2 coming out, which, he shouldn't have 2 Overlords coming out at this point because, he's not going for a 973. So that will be a bit of a longer supply block than he would like, but... Oh, the Spire's not done yet. He doesn't have the supply cap to get the Scourge out, so this is actually a really fortuitous opportunity for Ziggy. Just in time for the Scourge, the supply cap to be available to get some Scourge out on the map, but should be able to get 1 more Overlord before he has to run the Corsair away. Here's the Scourge. Okay, misrallied there. Trying to chase. See how the control is here. Corsair, the Scourge are slightly faster than the Corsair, but you have to control them right, and it is a very delicate game of cat and mouse. 1 connection. Meanwhile, Zealot's moving out. And we're going to see a 2nd connection, I think. Oh no, it's going over the cannon. That should survive. So a bit of a scout there from Skler with the Scourge, but losing the Scourge in the process means that those 2 Corsairs will be able to make it out on the map and try and contest the map control a little bit. Alright, so...
Some emergency defenses.
6 slow Zealots. Very nice SimCity here for Skler. Holy moly. That Sunken is untouchable. I love that SimCity.
Do the Zealots have upgrades?
He just got speed, and we should have +1. Yeah, we have +1 on it. They can definitely take down 1 Sunken here, but it's gonna buy some time for everything else to get here. They'll put up a good fight against the Lings, and just outside the range of the Sunken as well is a really good opportunity, but this is a clean mop-up, I think. The nice thing, though, is getting a couple of Overlords in trade. Not going to be nearly enough Zealots right now for Ziggy to be able to keep applying this pressure. How many gates is he on at the moment? So just starting his gate explosion, so that's why he's floating so many minerals, is he doesn't have the production to be able to start really cranking out Zealots. I think that's a little bit slow. Big dive here onto these Overlords. Skler is very supply blocked. Now, taking a decent amount of damage from the Hydras, and they're not going to chase into the base. Ziggy just focusing on macro at the moment. He's, okay, yeah, we're going up to 7 gates here. We've also got Templar coming out, should have Storm any second, so this is going to be the next big power spike for Protoss. And really, aside from getting that 3rd up and getting a bunch of hatcheries out there, like, Skler hasn't been able to put any pressure on any kind of major counterattack. The Corsair numbers are still looking decent. So I think that Ziggy's in a pretty good position here. Skler's not out of this by any means. He should be working on +1 upgrades. We should have Lurkers coming up soon. At least I'm assuming that we're going to be going for Lurkers with 3 gas. No sign of Hive, but at the same time, I don't really expect that this early. Really only be using Hive for Defilers and or Cracklings. Scouting it out again. Nice little pivot for the Overlords to move them away from where the Corsairs could hit. But probably going to scout the 3rd base 1 more time after checking to see if there's any extra bases that have been taken. And notable here is that Skler didn't take this base, like we talked about before, because it only has the 2/3 minerals and 1/3 gas. So he's going to be able to mine on these 3 bases for quite a while. Even though Zerg would love to get a 4th, he's not going to be in any kind of danger of mining any base out for the moment. Ziggy's probably going to be looking for a 4th soon. Okay, speaking of a 3rd soon. Speaking of a fourth, Skler is actually taking a drone out here. He's going to set up over on the top natural. I do like that move. Skler's kind of basically decided that until he's ready to push, he really doesn't need to try and put pressure onto the map. Instead, it's just much more of like a turtle zerg kind of idea. Getting a Nexus set up here for Ziggy. Is that blocking the Nexus? I'm not sure. That feels like it's a little bit close.
I think it's okay. Skler's really good at sniping High Templar with his Hydra. I see these little groups coming.
None of the High Templars are really stragglers at the moment, though. We've got +1 weapons, and we are 1-1 on Protoss ground. Big thing, though, is they did manage to take out a lot of Corsairs. So just the ability to maintain threat on Overlords is a lot lower, and it also opens the door to mutas at some point, possibly. Could see a muta transition out of Skler. Right now, he's floating a lot of gas. I think that we're going to be seeing some lurkers being morphed up soon if he had the supply room. But, no sign of that at the moment yet. I haven't seen any on the map. Ooh, nice storms over here. Ziggy's taking a lot of very assertive positions here on the map. And Skler is taking a lot more of a defensive posturing for the most part, trying to have about 1 control group worth or a little bit less on the map at any given point in time, and otherwise just rotating between his bases to try to keep everything defended. Big lurker morph here. Gonna have a lot of them coming in. 7 lurkers near the natural. Ziggy making a rotation up towards this 4th base for Skler, though. I don't think he's seen it yet. There's
Skler doesn't have scouting. He doesn't have anything in the middle of the map. Doesn't know what's coming.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Ziggy's seen this base, but seeing the Hydras up here now.
I think he saw that drone go up to that corner. So.
You might be right. Yeah. I thought it was zoned out by the Corsairs were zoned out by the Hydras.
He's just waiting for the observer. Ziggy's been really.
Oh, he has no obs.
Yeah. He's been respecting Skler.
Obs is on its way.
Really hard.
There's a... Alright, Obs is there. There's one more coming as well, so there's 2 Obs here.
Oh, I was waiting for the second one.
There's an opportunity there to attack into the natural before any of the lurkers were up. But yeah, bit too much respect waiting for the observers thinking lurkers were up.
I feel like this might be a little bit too respectful. The one thing I can say is he doesn't have very many High Templar here, and he's been holding his storms very diligently.
Yes, 4. Yeah, that's good.
4 High Templar, 3 of them have full energy, and 1 have no storms.
Can you not just run that base over? What's there? Okay.
Yep.
So we have the Sunkens coming up, and he had a couple of lurkers there as well. I don't think an observer ever saw the defenses here, so I think he's getting a little bit more respect than he needs to. Rough start at the engagement. How are the storms going to be? Okay, decent storms. Putting the High Templar a little bit in danger here, but I like the positioning on this. Managing to pull them back before it becomes too big of a problem. Big storms here, but they're not touching the lurkers for the most part. These lurkers need to get targeted down, but they're instead Dragoons focusing on the Sunken.
Ooh, storm on the hatch.
Okay, decent one here. Now Skler's coming around from behind, ready to sandwich what's left of this.
This game is already over. Skler as well.
Yeah.
It's already done. He just threw away his whole army for like 3 lurkers.
Nothing.
Oh, he traded army.
The problem is he traded into
production.
just the standing garrison. There's still this entire army that's out here, the stuff that was at the natural. Skler has a supply advantage, which you should never, ever, ever, ever have in ZVP.
Ziggy can take it back.
The thing is, Skler doesn't have 4 mining bases. He only has 3 mining.
Look at the map. Look at the mini map.
Yeah, but he doesn't have 4 mining bases. It's 3 bases. He has the 4th is not droned up.
Yeah. So there's still opportunity here for Ziggy to get it back, especially with the
if these manage to get onto the cannon safely, but they're not really moving in coordination. So these cannons are going to do pretty severe wonders.
Are there any High Templar on the way?
One, but barely has enough for a single storm. Otherwise, there's no Templar to be seen. So yeah, there's not anything to really fight this army with. The Zealots will get a little bit done, but there's going to be just pretty heavy devastation. Ooh, nice storm. No, pretty heavy devastation out of these. Like, even if they trade, there's a lot more coming where that came from for Skler. What's the production here?
How many
still
gateways
looking
are we in?
like? 9 gate. And given that the third base here is going down, all the mining's out of that, like, I think that's all he could really support. But if he did it, if he had gone more gateways before he lost this base, I think he would have been in a good spot. That's GG.
Now do you believe me?
I believed you from the start. You just gotta maintain the drama a little bit.
Yeah, like he could have fought back. It's just that he didn't hold it.
Yeah, Ziggy definitely could have taken that game before the lurkers were up, though. There's a big waiting period there that he gave grace to.
I think a lot of it just came down to like uncertainty and indecision, because the lurkers were already there at that fourth base that he was attacking, but not going into that because he's like, okay, what if I get flanked? What if there's lurkers like outside of this area? He had one observer there that he could have fought with. He just had to protect it.
I'm talking about earlier when he first had his army move out with, like, I think the 2 or 3 High Templar. There's a group and a half of Hydra, 1 sunken, and then like 2 morphing lurkers at that point. It's like,
Yeah.
If he would have just like peeked over there, he could have just ran right through that natural.
Anyways, though, I know that Ziggy's a very strong player. Ziggy has a lot of tricks in his bag. So I don't think that one match in a best of 7 is indicative of how the rest of this is going to go.
I find Ziggy, I play versus Ziggy a lot, and he's a more conservative player. Like he won't, where there's opportunity for him to crush something, he'll take his time. Like he'll build up a huge army and then run you over. But sometimes he can, there's opportunities to kill, and when he doesn't take those opportunities, he's a little bit different than, say, Abji. Abji really like knows his timing of when to attack.
All right, so they're taking a little bit of time here because Ziggy doesn't care about what map they're choosing. He's just like, just run them all in any order. So I gave them a executive decision just for the sake of getting the show on the road.
So what's the format like? Are we playing like best out of 3 first and then extending it?
So I think they're just doing a raw best of 7 for the tower match.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, though. I think that it was more like, hey, we got a show match, and then Ziggy's like, yeah, whatever, dude, I don't care.
Psych! Cause it's Taco Tuesday!
That's a fantastic soundboard piece, man.
It's my new favorite.
Rice Hat is an absolute treasure in the Broodwar community. We need to keep him.
True that, true that.
Alright. So, Knockout's got the trench. I mean, at this point, it's kind of old hat and everything, but the big distinctive factor of it is it's supposed to discourage Hydra busts. Now, Ziggy did go for very standard 3-hatch Muta into 5-hatch Hydra last game. But I also wonder if it means that because of the discouragement of basically like 973 or a slightly dronier 3-hatch Hydra, I wonder if it's going to change the way that Ziggy plays here, or if it's just kind of, I don't care, I'm playing standard anyways. Talked about him being a very conservative player, maybe he's just not gonna adapt to different conditions, different maps, whatever. As it stands, pylon scouting, Should be sending the second one out soon, if it doesn't spot anything here. Yeah, second one's going out. We do have a Forge expand, so yeah. Same as last game. Overpull out of Skler, with the expand should be coming up in about 20 seconds, give or take. A little bit of a high five in the middle of the map. Skler is checking the middle as well. He wants to make sure that there's not going to be any shenanigans with like a proxy 2 gate. And Ziggy is also going to be starting off with the Nexus again. So holding off on the cannons. But it looks like we only have the 4 Zergling variant. Not going to be trying to go too heavy and too crazy with the Lings here. Nice timing here out of Skler with the Lings, preventing the probe from doing too much harass. But the big thing here is this cannon's going to be done long before any Lings can show up. The gateway should be coming down any moment, and that's going to complete the wall. So a couple of probes or a couple of zealots will mean that there's no chance of these Lings getting in. So
Looks like he's going 5 hatch before gas. Oh, never mind.
no, there's the gas.
That's a really late gas.
I think
like
he was
3
considering doing 5 hatch before gas, and then reconsidered.
Yeah,
So
he'll probably have to open with Hydra then to fight off the stairs.
hold on a second. He did that on 14. That's the standard timing for 973.
Yeah, it could be 2. It could be 973.
Yeah, that is the standard timing for a 973, but he also was banking drones a little bit, so it's slightly delayed on that as well. This is a very middle-of-the-line thing, but I feel like we are going to be seeing the really heavy and fast Hydras.
Oh,
Nope, layer. Okay. Just a delayed 3-hatch Spire, then, I guess. Got the Cyber Core coming up here. A lot of the metrics that I've heard recently, and I'm... Oh, nice drone block there from Skler. One of the metrics that I'd heard recently is you want to be starting your lair about the same time that Protoss is starting their Cyber Core as Zerg. Okay,
Oh,
Citadel, so I think we might be going Sairless.
Yeah, I think Skler is weak to Sairless because Vince played Skler a few times and Vin has won.
I know that Firetip, who is on my Skew League team, was saying that Skler is kind of weak to like gate expand plus proxy 2 gate. So you do just like the Dragoon all in. So I wonder if that's also something that like Skler has observed that he has a problem with and is being a little bit more like Ling heavy to deal with that, or like scouting more.
Interesting. He preemptively hid his zealot in the middle line.
Yeah, kind of confusing there. Usually you do that if the Lings were being a lot more active on the map and you wanted to try and get out there.
He sent it that way, kind of to force Skler to make these Lings.
That's a lot of Lings.
That is. So, I mean, we're not light on drones, but definitely not at the level of droning that we would like to be. Yeah, I do like that observation, though, where just moving the Zealot out and then hiding it to try and force more Lings and slow down the economy of the Zerg player. We're not getting Sairless. We do have the Sairs coming out, but the Templar is a lot faster than usual. So this is a very fast Templar tech. Might be Dark Templar, actually.
Well, it could be a counterattack here.
There's nothing in the wall. If he went through right now, this would be incredibly dangerous for Ziggy. And yes, we've got Dark Templar out on the map. So that's what it's going to be. Now, you really need these Corsairs to get some damage onto the Overlords without giving it away too much. DT can get into the natural. There's no Overlords here. Nice timing for the Scourge.
What, the DD's coming in? Oh no, that's his over.
Nah, DT's in the middle of the map. This is a really, really bad position for Ziggy to be in. He's gonna get the DT in, though. But the problem is the Overlords right here are gonna see it, and yeah, they already see him. They're just getting pummeled by the Sunken. This is so bad. Getting basically no damage with that. So now Ziggy has...
Sucking ass, you're in the right spot, man.
Ziggy has an absolute cornucopia of minerals. Only 2 gateways. He's got some tech, but like... what are you going to do with that right now? You need the production to match it, to do something with it. So he's starting a couple more gateways, but that's only going to be 4 gate at that point in time. So yeah, he's going with a lot more cannons just to try and hold, because right now he's not looking so good if Skler were to counterattack. Skler, on the other hand, though, seems pretty content to just sit there. I think he's doing his Terran impression right now. Got 5 hatch. Gonna be starting to work on his Hydra upgrades. And he's giving Ziggy some time to build the infrastructure that Ziggy needs. So we're gonna be up to 6 gateways. Building up the probe count a little bit. Nicely saturated natural. I think Ziggy's gonna be looking for a 3rd soon, but needs to force some action before he can safely take it. +1 done for Ziggy. We have no upgrades that show on Zerglings yet. And nothing that shows on Hydras. Usually Zerg gets their upgrades a little bit later than Protoss does, so this is not unusual by any means. Storm should be done. We've got 3 Templar. Only one of them has the energy for Storm, though, so only 1 Storm available. Sending out a couple of Corsairs just to try and scout, maybe get some picks onto Overlords. Really similar to the way that last game was playing, but again, the supply count for Skler is looking so good. This might already be kind of close to over. Ooh, Dark Templar. Or Dark Archon. So this is actually a gamble that Ziggy's taking right now because he's convinced that Skler either has or is making a transition into Mutatech. But that's not what it is. This is just mass Hydra, and there is a lot of Hydras ready to come across. That Storm pretty much whiffing. Ooh, that's a good shot, though. Couple of Hydras going down. Picks off 1 Templar. In come the Overlord, seeing the Dark Archon, realizes, alright, as long as I keep my spread good, they're not going to be able to do too much to the army that I've got so far. And Skler's going to be feeling really comfortable. I think he's just waiting for 1 more Hydra upgrade to finish, probably range, and then he just goes ahead and starts attacking the wall. There's no room for cannons here, so it really does just come down to really... You have to get some clutch Storms and maybe a clutch Maelstrom, but there's not the energy for a Maelstrom yet. I think it's 125. 1 Storm remaining. No, the Templar's gone. There's no Storms. There's no Maelstrom. This is... Okay, there is a Maelstrom. Catches some of the Zealots with it, too. Hydra's collapsing down from high ground. They don't have the upgrade yet, though, so they're not going to be able to do quite as much damage to the Zealots. This is a big army from Ziggy. These Zealots going to put a lot of hurting onto the Hydras. I think this is going to go about as close to even as you can expect. But Skler's still in a better spot with 3 bases, with 5 hatches. I'm sorry, 4 bases. He has the mineral-only 3rd that he's taking on the high ground there.
Yeah, Skler's in a really good position. The supplies are tied. That's really good for Zerg.
Right. Overall, this is just looking really, like, I feel like Ziggy, I don't want to say he's not taking this seriously, but I feel like I have seen Ziggy play a lot better than this. And I'm not sure if this is just more due to like mistakes on his end, or if this is good play from Skler. It could be both.
Yeah, he needs High Templar.
Right.
You know,
And I mean, his gas is so low at this point, too. I mean, he must be making them, but it's also a decent amount number of Dragoons coming out as well. We have no observers anywhere on the map that I'm seeing. I don't even know if there's a robo. There's no robo. Oh, there is a robo. There's observatories coming out. But yeah, all of these lurkers that are out on the map right now are going to be completely uncontested.
yeah.
However, there's not any here.
Likes to go mass Hydra style, so like to go without High Templar is kind of very risky.
Yeah. Moving in those lurkers, and yeah, recognizing that there's no observers here, has to actually run away, which still a good strategy.
He's doing well for what he has.
Yeah.
But there's no ops.
Ops should be on its way. The observatory just finished. He's going to be making one, but it's a long way to go. Oh my god, lurkers here at the backstab.
Lurkers.
Possibly, folks, there's the High Templar. Maybe the reason that Ziggy's not making High Templar is because he can't keep him alive. Alright, we've got one storm available. Does this one have energy as well? Yes, so we have Kaidaran Amulet. Of course we do. I can see it's 250. So 2 storms available for this. Not going to be wasting them on the lurkers, but taking a lot of damage onto the Zealots and the Dragoons here. Okay. One storm comes out, Dragoons firing onto the lurkers. Does clear them all out, but a hefty amount of friendly fire. Man, Skler is just being as annoying as he possibly can. Just keeping a couple of Hydras every which way to keep smothering Ziggy with notifications. Ziggy's still yet to get a third base. His main's going to be mining out soon. Only 100 minerals left on some of the patches. He wants to get the third over here at the 3 o'clock position, but I think one more good engage from Skler could end this game, but Ziggy's starting to look a little strong here. Pretty good macro and decent army composition. However, no storms available. Like, this rotation in, going to be trying to pressure, but could turn into a bit of a race. Skler's army not in position to defend at all. However, the same can be said for Ziggy. I feel like the possibility of just getting High Templars out there with Storm makes it a little bit easier for Ziggy to defend. Speaking of the Devil, nice dodging from Skler, though. And finally setting up this third base for Ziggy, so he is going to be able to continue the game. Nice high ground defense here as well. This big field of lurkers is going to be very hard for Skler to break out of, though, unless he brings his army back, which he is doing. Needs to engage it from the high ground as well, which is super annoying. That opens up the entire left side of the map for Skler to do whatever he wants to. We could see him take an extra expansion. In fact, there's a drone moving out here to do that already. So pretty much the entire left side of the map is locked down by Skler. He's actually double expanding. He's taking the top position as well, 12 o'clock. So if these manage to go up, or if even one manages to survive, really, Skler's going to be just continuing to be in a really strong position. Very impressed with his play so far this game. The series, even. This is a ton of Dragoons for Ziggy. 2 Dragoons. What do we have for upgrades over here? Just 0-1 for the Hydras. Hopefully we've got 1-1 coming, or Carapace and range attack coming as well. Ziggy wants to move out, like he's really fiending to attack. What's he got behind it? Still only 8 gateways. That is not a lot of production for how many bases he has and how many units he has, really. I guess part of the reason he's being so conservative is if he loses a fight here with this army, he can't rebuild it. He doesn't have enough gateways. Nice rotation in here from Skler, just going to try and bring back Ziggy again. Not going to work this time, though. Nice lurker fields defending this left side base. A little bit of a micro engagement here in the middle of the map. Very strong for Ziggy at the moment. Rotation out from the choke point here. Instead, going to be looking for the third base, possibly. There's a ton of cannons here, but Hydras are pretty good against that. Meanwhile, Ziggy moving on to the undefended base here at the bottom left natural. That should be only requiring a couple of zealots to bring down, so everything else retreating and trying to prevent his own base from going down. But these Hydras doing work at the moment. Take out the pylons, take out the cannons. Turning their attention onto the Nexus, perhaps? No, going for the probes instead. Supply count plummeting. More reinforcements coming in, trying to cut off these zealots. I think they're going to get the probes and the Nexus, but meanwhile, there's a big fight going on the left side of the map. Where are the storms going to be? Will they land? Does Ziggy even have the attention to spare for this? This could be the last hurrah for Ziggy.
Army in the middle of the map, too. Using all his army.
Oh my god, you're right, yeah. There's so much going on right now. They're not even playing, like, incredibly fast. APMs are not, like, through the roof for either player. There's so much going on, but it's just incredibly efficient in terms of their movements and camera control. Oh, beautiful snipes here from Skler. A lot of whiff storms, too. Oof. I think this one might be over. Ziggy is down to one mining base. Doesn't have a lot of production. Down in supply. I'm struggling to think of advantages that he's got right now. Maybe desperation is an advantage. I'm not sure about that one.
From
Certainly.
the shadows I come.
Wow.
Yo.
That was, that cut off a really bad punchline, so that's probably a good thing. We get all the fans out there in the chat going crazy with the soundboard. I almost feel like I'm Artosis with a Tangia, except it's a lot less vulgar and a lot less insane. Alright. These lurkers are going to get picked off. Ziggy is doing a good job of crushing what's available. I mean, there's still plenty of supply and army, but I wonder how much of this is actually just drones for Skler. A whole lot at the high ground mineral only. Is Ziggy going to get this base too, man? Okay. Counterattack over here. But going to lose this 12 o'clock base for sure. And Skler's not even moving out. He's not thinking about the rally that he's got here at all. He's just holding this high ground. 12 o'clock be damned.
Too late to save it anyway. It's better to protect what the other base you have.
And the big thing here is I think that Skler knows that Ziggy isn't mining anymore. Taking out that only mining base that was trying to be set up. With that advantage, like, in his pocket, I think that Skler is just like, yeah, you can take my bases. I'm just gonna kill your army lackadaisically and slowly, and that ends the game. Yeah. Nice map control from Skler. Makes it 2-0 already, man.
Yeah, so he lost a lot of High Templar, and he didn't get off any good storms. Like, he didn't use his High Templar that well.
I feel like Ziggy's storming that game was, I don't want to say rushed, because that wasn't it. The tempo of the storms was all off. There were times where you wanted to lead with storm, and there wasn't, and just go ahead and... There were times that you wanted to lead with Storm, and instead it was kind of a tailing Storm, and there were times that you wanted to follow up with Storm, and the Storms just completely missed because the Hydras were moving, or they weren't moving and you expect them to move. we've got another lobby up. We are at 2-0 in favor of Skler right now. What do you guys think? Is it Skler or Skler?
Skler.
Skler? It feels so
What?
weird to say.
What for what is this? This match is for a bracket?
So this is for the Tower Challenge, but, you know, usually those are best of threes. But
Yeah.
Skler and Ziggy decided, you know what, man, we want to really make this one before the people, by the people. We're going to best of 7.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so it's like a show match combined with a tower match.
Yeah, it's a shower match. No.
They planned the show match long before the tower match. So when they scheduled the tower match, I was like, hey, do you guys want to just do a best of 7? Since they plan to do it anyways. I really wanted to see how Skler did against Ziggy, because Ziggy's really good at PvZ. Skler's like the best PvPer in UPL.
Seems like Skler real name is Skyler.
Yeah, I think so. I think that he said that.
I mean, it makes sense. Now, I think we need to start, like, renaming Skler, though, because you know how, like, you call Boxer the Emperor, and, like, they've got nicknames for all of the Korean players and everything? I think we gotta call Skler CEO, because he's running his own esports cafe now coming up. He's the chief executive Skler. Alright, so we're doing a bit of a 9 pool here for Skler. A bit of a variant from the overpool he was doing. We're going to be seeing a lot of Zergling pressure, and this might actually punish Ziggy, because he's been consistent in doing Nexus before Cannon. So the faster Lings here is, if Ziggy doesn't get the scout on this, which he will, if he doesn't observe that this is 9 pool instead of overpool, which, again, he's good enough that he should pick this up, this needs to be a cannon. If he goes Nexus here, I think he's screwed. Probe's in position. Okay, yeah, that's a cannon. Even then, this could still be rough. We're actually going 2 cannons, which is the proper response. And I like him using the probe here to try and block. Like, that's already a thing you want to be doing, but in this particular case, it's especially important because of how much of the 9-pull build really wants to have that expansion out there, because you're already delaying it by so much. So I think he's actually going to gas block? Oh, please tell me that he gas steals this. This would be so sick. Okay, no, we're not going to gas steal. But 2 cannons up, Nexus coming up as well. I mean, there's still time. He could drop the assimilator. The Lings are across the map right now. There's plenty of time to delay all the gas. And yeah. Very strong response from Ziggy here. Does exactly what he's supposed to, and so Skler just has to back off. That's the problem with the 9 pull here, is like, you really don't get a whole lot of pressure, but the big thing that you actually do is you delay the Nexus by forcing the 2 cannons. So you're delaying your own pool, you're delaying their Nexus, and it just kind of turns into a bit of a wash. But it's a slower game, and if people are really used to timing out their builds, then it causes all of those timers to go a little bit sideways.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I actually love 9-pulling against either race, really, is because it delays the game and means that people who are like, okay, at 4:30 I need to do this, now that suddenly doesn't really apply. You don't have the money, or you have too much money. So just all of those timings go a little bit sideways.
Yeah, and I heard if you force the Protoss to go to cannon and you 9-pull, it's considered like even.
I believe so, yeah. Like, that is the response that you have to take, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
So it just kind of means that, like, it's the same idea as overpool with 1 cannon. And even then, a lot of times Protoss likes to cheat when you overpool and take Nexus before cannon. So it's all just minor variations that at an extremely high level probably make a huge difference, but at this level even, you know, C to B, it can make a difference, but it's not going to change the game entirely. It just throws everyone off balance. So, we do have the Stargate coming up, we do have the layer moving. This is one of the actual problems, that the Spire is going to be late because of that 9 pool. And so, this means that there's more time for the Corsairs to get out there on the map, and yes, you made an impact on the number of probes, but you didn't make an impact on when the Stargate comes out. So really, this is kind of delaying the gateway explosion in exchange for a longer vulnerable window for the Corsairs to scout and snipe off Overlords. Kind of really interesting when you think about the trade-offs in that way. Because this Spire is going to take a very long time to get done, and we should have a Corsair popping out any moment. And this seems to be the style of play that Ziggy was a lot more comfortable with. When he went for the early Citadel and early Templar archives, it really did feel like it was just something that he hadn't played as much. So, him doing this here, it definitely feels like something that is a lot more in his comfort zone. And we should be seeing a lot more damage coming out of this, especially because the build matchup is going to work out in his favor, I think. Alright, Corsair picking away at the Overlords. We have a lot of Lings over here. I believe I saw them hit with speed. And Ziggy's actually just going to pull back. He's not going to try and contest this. I do like this idea because of the fact that you've just forced a lot of Lings to be made. Not drones, not Scourge, not Mutas. So, all of these larvae going into other stuff that Skler's just like, I kind of wish I didn't have to make this. So sending the Zealots out and then pulling back without really doing anything with them just forces a Sunken, forces a whole bunch of Lings, and really delays the development of Skler. It's kind of like in chess, if you just prevented your opponent from moving some of their pieces onto the board and just forced them to, like, make a bunch of pawn moves instead of developing, or, like, chasing their queen around. It prevents him from really getting into the mid-game the same way and pace that Skler would want to. So we've got a couple of gateways coming up here. We're going to have 4 gateways to start us off. Templar Archives coming up as well. So we'll be starting to get into the real meat and potatoes of Protoss production. But everyone's game, again, is just a little tiny bit off because of the way that we opened. We had a slightly later Nexus, we had a slightly later Hatchery, just everything's a little bit off. Very, very weak Scourge here. Still gonna get a chance to scout. Nice move out here with the Zealot legs and +1. What do we have that are able to defend this time? Some Scourge on an Intercept course. That Intercept course is not going to pan out this time. They get 1 Corsair. Couple of Hydras up here to fight. Gonna be focusing on the Corsairs. And then pulling back to the safety of the Sim City and the Sunken. Skler is supply blocked. The Zealot pressure is doing a lot of work here. Going to be running up the ramp, looking after the drones here this time. The drones are actually pulling into the main. This is interesting. I don't know what they're doing with this here. Ziggy focusing on the Spire. I think he's going to get it. Maybe. No, just barely keeping the Spire. There's just enough time for the Hydras to pick off the Zealots. That is a very low health Spire.
Damn.
But yeah, we pulled.
But I'd kill Drone Man instead. Now you'd feel bad.
Yeah, the big thing is there's still a supply block, so Skler has to spend a lot of money on Overlords instead of combat units. Kind of just a nightmare scenario for Zerg a lot of times. But But his drone count is looking pretty decent. A little bit of undersaturation at the natural, but the third and the main look really good. Ziggy's taking a third here. Continuing to rock and roll with the Zealots. We've got 4 storms available. It should be 8 before not much longer, about 40 seconds or so until we've got 8 storms available. Big drone cycles here from Skler. He really wants to get this economy going. Problem is, where he really needs them is here at the natural instead of at the third. This third's going to be heavily oversaturated at this point. Starting to look more like a Terran base than a Zerg one. A little bit over a control group of Hydras moving up north. Trying to get into a position to possibly attack this base if that was where Ziggy was going, but this is going to be more of scouting information than it is going to be any kind of opportunity to harass or put some damage out there. Ziggy is not going too crazy with the production right now. We are up to 8 gateways, but he's really focusing on defending this base instead of getting more Zealots and Dragoons out. We don't even have any Dragoons. I don't know if he even has... Okay, we have 1 Dragoon. I don't know if he has Dragoon range. I'm assuming he does if he's made a Dragoon. Oh, okay, yeah. We just went ahead and started up the Dragoon explosion. The pathfinding on this is a little bit awkward, though. The Dragoons are popping out on the left side here, don't know how to get to the rest of the army. So I wonder if that's going to make an impact as the game goes on. At least it's not like Python, where the Dragoons would just all stack up on the one ramp.
That's a very strong attack, man, from Ziggy. I don't think Skler have any lurker yet.
Yeah, I don't see any lurkers. There's no observer here in case lurkers were out, but because of the fact we already established that there aren't any, basically the only thing that Ziggy has to do at this point is keep an ear out for spines and retreat if those show up. There's no way of knowing if lurkers are available. Big rotation here, gonna be trying to make a move onto the third base. Nice storm! Very quick reaction there from Ziggy. Another great storm here as well. This is going to bring down all of those Hydras. The main army up here fighting as well. Zealot's getting some decent damage out here, pulling back to the Dragoons. Bit of an arc. I like the surrounds and the large amount of deployment area here from Skler, but the problem is he really doesn't have any kind of major force outside of what's here at the 4th base.
I think Ziggy lost his couple High Templar, right? He had like 3 High Templar with his dunes
He
before.
left 2 of them at home, but even then, a lot of them did get sniped. This is going to be a big storm. Oh, that's great. So that's going to be denying the mineral only here, but there's still a third for Skler. We've got 1 storm available. Not a bad one there. And the rest of this just has to be beatstick versus beatstick. Dragoons and Hydras, man. Upgrades are looking good for Ziggy. He's at 2-1. Corsairs continuing to chase deep, and I do hear lurkers. We have our first lurkers being morphed. However, there's also observers up here. Ziggy's should not go in until he gets some more Zealots and High Templars to reinforce. And that's a lot of Zealots and 1 High Templar. Does not have Kaidaran Amulet yet. We're still on 8 gateways. That third should be kicking in soon to enable us to go higher on gate count if we want to, or just to take another base. This Overlord doing a lot to scout this out here and make Skler aware of Ziggy's army movements. Now the big question that you have here is Ziggy is where do you want to try to attack? This third is a nightmare to push into. this natural not looking so good either. Maybe you just kind of set up a semi-contain and try and take your own fourth. I think that's probably the best play here for Ziggy, is just, okay, I don't feel like I can break you just yet. So, yeah, he's taking his own fourth up here. I like this play. And as long as he keeps his production up, Ziggy can just basically go 200-200, throw himself into whatever defenses Skler has, and then just remax. He's going to have a pretty substantial base advantage here. Skler's moving out with the Hydras. There's no observers or anything to spot this side of the map. He could make it all the way up to the mineral only. But, okay, no. Good rotation out of Ziggy. Just has a little bit of that star sense. It's going to be running right into this and the morphing lurkers as well. Ooh. I don't know if he spotted that drone. No, I think the drone made it just undetected. Mission impossible drone right there. A big push coming back in towards the natural again. This is probably the hardest point on this map to push into for Ziggy at the moment. It'd be there or the high ground third. Big burrow over on this high ground as well. I call that the Terran high ground, where they love to throw tanks and contain you. Bit of a rotation up this way. The observers are there. They're going to see the lurkers. Not a lot of Hydra reinforcements. The Hydras instead making their way up to the mineral only, up to the Terran high ground. No need for a storm yet. Sniping away at the High Templar, maybe. No. Okay, just moving right on through. A couple of Dragoons focusing on that, but takes out the drone. No expansion for you today. The Zealot providing some very valuable intel on where this couple of Hydras are moving. Might even catch this with trailing vision. Yes. So Ziggy's going to see these Hydras moving up in the base as well. And there's enough cannons to repel them alongside these Dragoons. I like the move up here to 12. I don't think that these can get anything out of it, but he might. It's a nice attacking angle. Only one cannon able to really cover this. But Zealots are still pretty good against Hydras, and that's not a lot of Hydras. Another group of Hydras coming up, but at this point, I think Skler is just funneling his armies into death. Skler has not managed to find a fourth base yet. Ziggy is up and running on his fourth. This is looking like a fantastic Ziggy game. We talked about how Ziggy's a really patient player, and this is really the benefit of it. If your opponent keeps throwing stuff into you, desperately trying to impact you or sneak some damage in, and you just never let them and continue getting further ahead, this is what you get. Almost doubled up supply, good upgrades, and at this point, you know, Ziggy can either push in or just prevent this base from going up and wait until Zerg's mined out. Nice storms again. There's so many Dragoons here, man. Like, how do you deal with this many Dragoons? The GG button is the way. That's a good call there, Skler. Ziggy putting his first one up on the board. If anybody else out there, too, wants anything to say about this or just wants to, yeah, feel free to chat, you know. I'm not the only one who's here, I'm just the one who's holding the fort down.
Psych!
You're the best yapper.
There you go, man. Gonna take the next one over to Octagon. I love the fact that I'm just making the decisions here. I don't have any real order. All that I know is they banned out Jane Doe. I think after Octagon, I was heading to match point. See how they like that one. Oy. right, so we are at 2-1 in favor of Skler, but I gotta say, I feel like if there was any rust, if there were any nerves, if there were any uncharacteristic failures from Ziggy last game, from Ziggy in this series so far, I think he has worn them off officially, because that last game looked a lot more true to form. Very Ziggy-like.
I didn't think the first game was that bad. He had a good 730 timing with +1 and legs, but yeah, second game when he tried to go Sairless, definitely he was off his groove there.
It wasn't even the Sairless, it was the Dark Templar is the thing that threw me for a loop, or that threw him for a loop. Tried to make the DT play, wasn't even Sairless.
It wasn't. Which game was Sairless then?
I thought game 2 was Sairless, but it ended up being
okay.
DT. Yeah, I had misread his build. All right. So once again, Mr. Pylon Scout. Now, one of the things that makes this map particularly interesting is there's not a lot of room to build past the choke. So for Protoss, that doesn't really impact things too much for the most part. But for Terran, on the other hand, if they want to try and set up bunkers against lurkers, it's a little bit more difficult. Also, it's kind of hard to get buildings behind the minerals and like protecting against mutas in a lot of cases. So it's not a bad muta map, but it's not a great one either. The last feature that's really interesting, actually a couple more features that are really interesting about this map, is the center is completely buildable, so it's a good spot for a lot of proxies. And you've got this little ridge here that's a great place to post up for Dragoons or for Lurkers. The only other thing that's really notable that I think about this map that's just really interesting is there's like a fake third location or a fake fourth that's just 5 mineral patches and that's it. Like, it is the most ghetto mineral-only base you could possibly get.
It's actually pretty difficult to defend the third. I can see why you might want, even though it's only 5 patches, you might want to expand to that first.
Right. This is kind of like the inverse of the Polypoid or Metropolis thirds, where it has 2 ways in, but they're both coming down ramps. So, like, defending this, it's such a huge open area. It's really hard. It's one of the reasons I think this map is super interesting.
It's decently okay to defend from your rally point, but when you're bringing your army back, depending on where the spawn of the other player is, it actually ends up being, pathing is really annoying.
Oh, yeah. Alright, so Skler gets a couple of lings in for a little bit of damage on the photon cannon, but not nearly enough. Just throwing 3 lings away into it. Ziggy gets a good scout, spots the third down here in that hard-to-defend valley. Having a bit of lag on my end. I hope it's not impacting the players at all. Otherwise, Ziggy starting up his Cyber Core. We'll pay attention to when the lair comes up. Gonna be a late lair as compared to the Cyber Core. Could be a fast core or a slow lair, you tell me. Scouting probe killed off. And we've got ourselves a lair coming up, so just before the Cyber Core finishes up. So gonna be another game where if we go for Sair, it's gonna have a lot of time to do some damage. Assuming that Skler goes for 3-patch Spire, as he has been. I think that's generally considered the most standard ZVP build. In the same way that Corsair Scout into like 6 to 8 gates is the standard Protoss build. Like Corsair into Templar and just getting legs and going crazy with it. I'm gonna start calling the leg enhancements for Zealots just crazy legs. There's all kinds of crazy ideas and crazy things in StarCraft. You don't have anything crazy for Protoss. It needs to be crazy legs.
Should call Sairless play Crazy Legs. Just skipping Sairs.
I love it. I love it. I like the star sense here out of Skler, deciding to just pull back as he starts to move the lings across the map. The second cannon started for Ziggy, so...
Is there a Zealot down there? I think he's chasing something.
Oh, there was, yeah. I didn't even see that. Good catch in the minimap.
Yeah, now he doesn't have vision of the Nat, though. He should have, like, a spotter link or something up there.
Right. Now, he's got the Overlord that's about to die in the main, so he doesn't see the Nat, doesn't see the potential move out, but at least had some vision of what's going on in Protoss land. Sair's crossing the map. Spire is almost done. And we have plenty of supply cap here. A little bit of a potential run it? No, no chance to run in. Spire's done. We've got Scourge morphing. And that will be ahead of the supply block, and Skler is even making more Overlords as well. So this is just very proactive play here from Skler. Recognizing the situation, recognizing that he's got a lot of hatches here coming, actually. He's already up to 6 hatch.
He could have... He's attacking 2 Overlords. He can lose 4 Overlords. That's a big deal. Oh, no.
Alright.
Okay, he loses that. No.
So both Overlords get saved.
Okay.
Bit of inattention there from Ziggy. But we're already 6 hatch here for Skler. He is having the time of his life. So I think we're going to see big Hydra Man coming up in just a moment.
Yeah, he didn't continue to make Sairs, so he can't really put pressure on the Overlords while he's attacking.
Right. Okay. Not great saturation here at the natural. Third's looking pretty decent, though. Attacking the eggs to get out. We have some Zealots coming across over here. Gonna be taking the low ground in. Oh, broadside attack. However, catching the wrong side of the Sim City here. It's actually going to be a lot of damage out of this just by catching the Hydras in transit.
Yeah, really good surrounds on the Hydras.
Really good timing on that attack. Completely dodging every Overlord. Got a decent damage just on the Hydra count, cutting that down some. Three storms available. Usually Ziggy likes to move out on 4 High Templars, so that's the 4th one coming right there. All of them have storm. No energy upgrade. This feels a little bit smaller than the army that Ziggy usually moves out with, but I think he usually has more Zealots and fewer Dragoons. That's still going to match up really well with the standing armies that we see from Skler, though. The big question is the Sim City going to hold wherever it is that Ziggy attacks? Honestly, I think the Sim City is going to hold up fantastically if he goes to the 3rd. Going to catch a few more Hydras in rotation here. Might be enough to kill 1 or 2 of them. Just 1. Everything else here. Pretty big attack, but splitting his attention really badly, having a hard time choosing one direction to go in. Storm mostly whiffing. Snipe, but not before the second storm comes out. The storm's not doing crazy damage, though. Focus firing on the Sunk. No! Splitting attention between the Sunken and the Hydra. If that Hydra den goes down, that could be bad news. No more Hydras here for Skler. Has to make do with what he's got. That High Templar could be storming this, not going to. I think that the bust is complete. I think that Ziggy's going to get this one. That's a lot of Dragoons. A lot of the critical infrastructure is gone, and Skler taps out. 2-2 as Ziggy takes domination over Octagon.
That was a really good timing. It was like pre-lurker attack.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I think that Ziggy just kind of plays it for right when he's got 4 High Templar that are ready to go. Is when he starts posturing around.
Nice, we have a series. 2-2.
I gotta say, this is probably like one of the best things to come back from the gym to. Is just like two pretty freaking good players just kind of duking it out and like demolishing their brains after I've demolished my body.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to see. Because I knew that these guys are like really good at this matchup, so I just want to like them duke it out.
So this is I want to see how this goes. Ooh, rough split there for Ziggy. On this map in particular, because I feel like this map just sucks so much for Protoss.
What is he doing?
That's got to be a proxy, dude. He's already moving out so fast. Maybe like down by the 3rd?
It's like a proxy inside his base kind of proxy? Because he doesn't need to go that soon, right? I think he's going to do it in his base.
I think it's going to be like over here at the 3rd. And he wants to beat the Overlord across the map.
Oh, I think it's going to be inside. Like, why would he go this early?
Maybe. I've seen people... I've been 2-gated at my natural.
Maybe he's going to cannon rush or just build a gate.
You could do the tasteless, lock him in the base.
He built it there?
So tasteless has done this before. What you do is you actually can wall them in, but I've never seen it versus Zerg, I think.
This is actually hilarious. And this is someone tried to do this to me, but I had 9 pulled them blindly.
Well, I've never seen this before.
Crushed it.
What is he gonna build? Is he gonna build a gate or a forge?
You do gate and forge, and then you just wall them to one base.
Oh.
But let's see what he's gonna do. It looks like forge first here.
All right, so overpull here out of Skler.
This is so funny.
Is Anderson on?
Don't give him any ideas.
He's actually just gonna. What?
Yeah, it's just cannon, I think.
Oh, he doesn't have the location right. He can't get a gateway in there.
Oh yeah. He can't.
No, you could have done the gateway under. It wouldn't be flat, but you block him in.
Okay, so he's just doing 2 cannons. So all right, we're pulling probes. This is just like a standard cannon rush, really.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, this is not
not ideal.
No, this is not the execution we were looking for.
And every drone's getting pulled, but it's important.
So
I mean, he just dies to the counter attack at this stage.
Yeah, he just calls GG. So I wanted to know what a decent level PVZ on that map looked like, and that was not it.
Hey, that's what Best does, you know? Random cannon rush into GG. It's ASL level.
I'm sending them over to Fighting Spirit and then Attitude to round it off if they make it to 7.
Oh my god, I haven't seen a game on Fighting Spirit in forever.
I hate Fighting Spirit, dude. Like, Fighting Spirit's one of the maps that I've just had banned on ladder for ages because it never goes away.
Yeah, I don't ladder, and then because everyone has it banned, I just never even get it through osmosis anymore. Like,
Fair, yeah.
It's like, for all I know, it like doesn't exist until this moment.
Whenever people are like, hey, what are the ladder maps? I can never remember this one.
This is the Korean BGH, if you will.
Yeah.
Or Lost Temple that just never went away.
Yeah, this is like the replacement. Well, it went Lost Temple, and then Lost Temple was replaced by Python, and then Python was replaced by Fighting Spirit.
I feel like there was a Luna in there at one point, but yeah.
Yeah, Luna was during the time that I like kind of stepped away from Brood War and wasn't paying attention at all. But yeah, this is like a super, super defensive map, but it also has like... So, Ziggy actually just flicked his camera over to the center twice. I think we're gonna see a center 2 gate here. I think he's tired of being vanilla, man. He's like... He's really looking for the spicy build.
Didn't he just win like 2 hard-fought standard games, though, to get it even?
But at the same time, he just lost one that was tried to get really cheesy. He's still feeling cheesy. He didn't get the satisfaction out of his last game. So, early on in the series, Skler did do a center pass scout on Knockout, I think, to look for the 2 gate. It was either on Knockout or on the first map, whatever that was. I think Knockout was the first map, actually. So, if he kind of keeps up with that... Oh, this was actually a 9 pull. This was not an over pull. I am bad at reading builds sometimes.
Is he
checking
extra worker? I think so. Maybe? Nope.
No, he's going direct. He forgot to check center. Now, he's still going to get first scout. He's still going to get first scout.
Unless he scouts the Nat and turns around.
Oh, that's a fair point.
Let's see. I think he'll go in. If it goes in, then he'll know it's a proxy.
Okay, yeah, he sees it. He didn't...
Did he see it? Can you check his vision?
Oh, yeah, he checked. Back. It was on a shift command.
Okay, so...
Okay, he didn't get the first time. Okay.
He didn't see anything, but now he knows it's
exactly
proxy.
What's going on, yeah.
Okay, so 9 pool, we've got 6 lings to deal with this. If we wait for the 3rd zealot, then that will crush the 6 lings, but if you just keep making lings here, then this turns into a real micro battle.
Oh, and he's going the wrong way too. He's going the bottom right.
He's going for the pylon.
Yeah, he's going to be looking for the pylon here, but nice micro. Very nice here from Ziggy. Oh, going in as well. Ooh, I like this decision. That's the way you do it. It's the big problem with this. Nice micro at the base here from Ziggy. Or from Skler. Not bad from Ziggy, too. Making a move onto the pylon. Need to get these zealots back to try and defend it.
Does he have anything else in his base? Oh, nope. I feel like he made the wrong decision with the lings.
Creep colony's coming up.
Yeah, they're fast.
This is crazy, dude. Alright. Sunken down. Gonna stop the zealot here, but I mean, the big problem you run into is that's an expensive sunken.
Yeah, he's done with 5 drones.
Oh, he droned again.
Wow, that's greedy. That is so greedy.
These 3 lings make it work.
Is there a cannon in Ziggy's base?
There's a cannon coming up now. We've got 5 zealots on the board. And at this point, Skler's got to go down to 1 base and Just go for like one base muta or something crazy. Oh my god, he's still droning.
Gotta get all that larva out while he can.
Yeah. Can't run in. Can't run in.
Oh, he targeted the right one too.
Wow,
Nice.
very nice.
That was the back one.
Cannon doing some work over here. The Ling's still trying to harass the probes a little bit. Alright, so we have 8 zealots, which means we have 19 probes, if I'm not mistaken. No, wait, I'm sorry, we have more than that. So 12 supply, 14 supply in zealots, so 16 probes, maybe less because there's probably 2 more supply in the making. The 12 to 16 probes, and over here we basically only have drones, so we're at about 15 to 16 drones. So drone count and probe count are mostly even, most likely. Okay, we only have 12 probes actually, so drone count is ahead of the probe count, but he has to keep on making sunkens, and yeah, it is going to be one base muta for Skler. It's what he's looking to do. It's the standard response to a 2-gate like this when you've been pressured so hard, but it's not going to feel good for him. Another cannon up. So we're not teching at all on Ziggy. He's just kind of all in on this, looking to get critical mass and then charge in. I don't know if he's going to be able to break it, though. The big thing is this back sunken is going to be really hard to get to through the mineral line. It's hard to get surface area with this front hatchery as well. Zealot on patrol over there, or just kind of scouting out, making sure there's no hidden base. Even running around with a probe just to check and make sure that there's nothing that Skler can do. And I think Ziggy's about ready to pull the trigger. Ziggy has not mined an iota of gas yet. He is all in on this.
He has really good SimCity. He just blocked off.
Skler was also ready there to build a building in front again. I think he was going to build an evo chamber right there or something.
Ooh, nice.
That's exactly Hydra Den.
Hydra
Okay.
Den.
Yeah, this is insane SimCity.
Yeah, I don't think
here.
you can break that.
No.
With drilling, and it's going to be really hard.
All right, so we're starting on gas. But this is when this spire is finished, man. Ziggy's going to be in trouble. Those mutas come out.
He can just retreat to the cannons, but
he's gonna lose the the gateways eventually, and he's gonna have to go all the way back. He has no tech. Like,
he needs to start a cybercore.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he even really has that great of a probe count, to be honest. 10, 14, 17 probes here.
Yeah, Gloomy
this
says he should just snipe the Spire. Just kill the Spire and back off.
I like that idea, actually. And he's got more than enough zealots to do it.
What the fuck is this? I was laddering and I just came back to this? What is this?
This might be... I think this is actually enough zealots to do it. You can already see the Sunken's bleeding a little... Oh, no. Not the Muta's out now.
You got the Spire, though.
That is a big pickoff.
Needs to focus drones, yeah. This can eat kill drones.
Crazy drilling here. But still, this is okay damage.
What's going on in Protoss space?
Nothing. Literally nothing.
Oh, not even a cybercore still.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know how to play from this situation. He should ask my help.
He's actually calling GG.
Oh shit.
That's the end of the series unless they're gonna just play it out for 7 anyways. Wow. well done to Skler, taking it 4-2. But we'll see if they want to run it out to 7 anyways, just for the hell of it. He wants to go out and play Path of Exile. Alright, everybody. Anyone who ends up watching this on YouTube, so all like 2 of you, hope you enjoyed. That was Skler taking over ZiggyStardust's position. So advancing to the penultimate tier of our ladder and able to challenge the reigning champion, Manadog. Thank you. Have a good night.
Someone challenge me.